Hello YouTube, I'm back with the next My Little Pony review, and today I've got starting off with the pilot episode of the My Little Pony and Friends TV series, known as Rescue from Midnight Castle, or otherwise known as Firefly's Adventure. And this is the episode. Being the pilot episode, things are a little different here. I mean, the characters are different, you know, although including Megan, who's got a completely different outfit on, looks almost older in a sense than what you see here later in the series. None of the characters that appear in the later episodes appear in this. This is also the debut of Scorpan and Tirek. I want to separate it from Tirek, who's the one from Friendship is Magic, and in comparison, it's pretty surprising to see how much of a difference they went through. Because in some sense, even though I like the G-Force Tirek, this one actually seems to have a lot more going on, mostly because he's serious. You can tell he's being serious. I mean, G4 Tirek was mostly about stealing magic. It didn't really do much beyond that. Although the battle at the end, that was pretty epic. I did enjoy that. This one is staying serious. Always has a threat on tap. You know, it tries to make sure that everything that they want to do, they get done. In fact, although you can't diss this version of Tirek and Scorpan because they're the ones that made the G4 versions possible. Although we never see the G4 version of Scorpan. We kind of see him in the story form, but it doesn't really count in my opinion. But yeah, they start out pretty quickly getting a threat right away. That's one thing that the G4 doesn't. The G4 pilot does not get this far. We don't get the threat in G4 until nearly the end of the episode. We get little snippets here and there, but we don't see the actual threat herself, Nightmare Moon, until very near the end of the episode. In the G1 pilot, we get it immediately, within probably 5 minutes of the first part here, because it's actually broken up into later, you know, when it actually airs on as part of the lineup in the show, they actually break it into 2 parts. I mean, yeah, we get the first threat, the Stratodons, I think as they pronounce them, the little winged alligators. I know it sounds ridiculous, but how else can you describe it? It's uniquely different than anything Friendship is Magic has ever put out. And this is also the debut of characters like Applejack, who ends up showing up in G4 as well, as does G1 Twilight. And there's also, I mean, Firefly is in this as well, obviously, as the name suggests, but she's actually the better version of Rainbow Dash by far. She shows that you can be bold and daring without actually being an obnoxious jerk like Rainbow Dash is. So that's pretty cool. And then you end up... Heck, even G1 Spike gets involved in this. He's actually sort of working for Tirek in this, to some extent. I don't think he's entirely part of it, but... Heck, Tirek even makes sure that it's like, if I don't get what I want, I'm gonna take your head off. I mean, that's pretty dark for a show that would otherwise seem... as probably some people would probably assume it's automatically just going to be slice of life, nothing happens, no conflict, nothing. Definitely not. I have seen it. It's pretty impressive, and in fact, I like it over Friendship is Magic. I will say that. I mean, a threat within 5 minutes? That's going to already get you entertained. And that's before you even see Tirek in the first place. And by the time you do see Tirek, yes, he's kind of odd looking, but then he's also different. He actually stands out. He actually... Unlike the G4 Tirek, which starts out as a feeble little monkey-like creature, you get this one who's automatically, he's ready to go. He's full power, seemingly. You know, no questions asked. You find out, yes, Scorpan is nice, and he ends up actually helping to sabotage the plan, but this is also where one of my favorite songs is catchy. It's Call Upon the Sea Ponies. If you haven't heard it, go hear it. It is catchy. It's probably the catchiest song in the entire series. I'm not kidding. I still listen to it to this day, every once in a while. It's pretty catchy. You'll see it end up as part of the... This also got released on DVD, so things are a little sharper. And of course, it says Part 2. They kind of... This is where they changed it, because it was originally Firefly's Adventure, as I said, but... It's catchy. I mean... It's one of those songs I was kind of on the fence about when I first heard it, and then after I heard it, I was like, holy crap, this is good. This is good stuff. yeah, this is definitely worth watching, especially since you get a lot of action in it, despite what it may seem like initially, especially since it starts out in a nice, calm atmosphere. They actually kind of mostly all do in some sense or another. They end up starting out relaxed, nothing going on, seems all peaceful. I mean, heck, they had G1 Twilight and a pony known as Ember, who's purplish. I kind of like the moment where where baby Ember ends up asking if she can ever fly, and Twilight ends up saying it's not going to happen. I just found that a rather cute moment. Yeah, it's definitely, if you're going to start with the show, start with the pilot. It'll get you into it. Yeah, you won't see the characters you'll see in later episodes, but there's a lot going on. I also like the intro. The intro music is nice. It's kind of the only one where we actually get like a narration, where they actually read off who's starring in it. And yeah, and you also see the different version of Applejack. This version of Applejack is a lot more tentative, kind of like Fluttershy in a sense, but not to the same extent. She had every reason to be worried because that bridge was not stable, and she ends up falling into it. It should never have gone across in the first place. But be that as it may, you wouldn't have gotten this song if that hadn't happened. Come on. So this is definitely worth seeing. If you haven't seen the show, I hadn't seen it for a long time. I wasn't really a big fan of it, but now that I've seen it, I realize, holy cow, Retrofish Magic does not have the same caliber as this. This is from the 80s, mind you, where they actually animated all the cells by hand, versus the cheap animation that Friendship is Magic uses. So if you're ever curious about seeing the show, do it. It's definitely worth your time. If you don't like it, that's okay. I'm not forcing you to watch it. I'm just saying it's probably going to be better than you expect. Especially when you get past, maybe there's some animation glitches here and there. But it shows they went the extra mile to make this actually worthwhile. It's too bad it didn't continue. It was really they were only 10 minutes long, so they actually filtered it in with other stuff. The End Friends part of it ends up being other shows, kind of mixed in, kind of airing afterwards. But hey, they got 65 episodes. I guess if you really count it, it's more like 63-ish, because the other special is included Escape Katrina, that's in this. That's towards the very end, which I'll review as such, even though technically it was originally a separate thing. But yeah, definitely go see it. Go watch it. They're on YouTube. Actually, they're on Dailymotion. Take it back. They're on Dailymotion in fairly decent quality. A couple of the songs may be on YouTube, though. So that's my review on Rescue from Midnight Castle, aka Firefly's Adventure. Thanks